in studio with me, I've got two lovely ladies from Soroptimist International Esperance, and they are here to share with us some information about the upcoming event. It's a walk for her. We walk for her. So in studio with me, I've got Charmaine. Good morning, Charmaine.
Good morning, Tequila.
And I've also got Farah with us as well. Good morning, Farah.
Good morning, Tequila.
Thank you for coming in and bringing all of this information with us here on Heartbeat Radio. So we are ready to learn. We are ready to dive in. But first of all, some of the folks listening may not have heard about Soroptimist International before. So can you tell us a bit about your club and the work that you do?
Soroptimist International is a global women's volunteer organization with approximately 65,000 members in 118 countries. Our club, Esperance, is one of 8 Soroptimist clubs in Trinidad and Tobago, and we work in rural South Trinidad. We are committed to transforming the lives of women and girls through education, empowerment, and enabling opportunities. Our key areas of focus include women's economic empowerment, gender equality, health, the elimination of violence against women and girls, and education. We have consultative status at the UN and so advocate for women at the highest forum.
Oh, that is very nice. You hear that, right? Consultative status at the UN. So when we speak about Soroptimist International, we know that the reach is quite large, and we are reaching out to those of us on the ground here. You know, us here in Trinidad and Tobago, from south side, as you mentioned, all the way up to the north, right? We want us to come out to this event. But what is the walk for her going to be about? Let me hear what we can expect when we come to this event.
Right, so our event is called Walk for Her, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place on Saturday, 29th November, during UN Women's 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence. Now, the 16 Days of Activism campaign is a global campaign that takes place from November 25th to December 10th annually, and it highlights that violence against women and girls is the most prevalent violation of human rights worldwide. Our event seeks to raise awareness of gender-based violence, or GBV for short, and educate the public on how we can support survivors. We will have specially invited guests joining us in our campaign and have invited students from secondary schools that we work with in rural South Trinidad, as well as others in San Fernando. It's important that they are aware of digital gender-based violence and how to seek help.
Very much so. I mean, you mentioned GBV, and that's when it clicks, you know, because we see those 3 letters across the internet here and there. You know, you see different people saying things about GBV. So now we know, right? The shortened version of gender-based violence. And you mentioned the digital one as well. So let's make sure we have it laid out in front of us. What is gender-based violence? And then maybe a touch on as well the digital side. What's the difference and how we can spot that?
Of course. So gender-based violence, or GBV, describes any harmful act perpetrated against a person because of their gender. It stems from unequal power relations between men and women and the resulting discrimination against women. Women and girls are disproportionately affected, and this intensifies in times of crisis or in females with disabilities. A shocking 1 in 3 women experience GBV in their lives.
Wow.
So this can take many forms. So it can be physical, sexual, psychological or emotional, economic, and technology-based or digital gender-based violence. This year's theme of the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence is Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. Farah can tell us more about that. In fact, her project on digital gender-based violence won an award at the Soroptimist International Conference in Birmingham, England
Really?
last week. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. We have an award winner in our midst.
We're so proud of her. Her project was nominated from hundreds of submissions, and we're very, very proud of her and her work with digital gender-based violence.
Well, thank you, Charmaine, and thanks again to Quayla and to Heartbeat Radio for having us.
Most welcome.
So you asked about gender-based violence, and then you asked about digital gender-based violence. So digital gender-based violence refers to any abuse or harassment that happens through technology. So this includes social media, messaging apps, or even email, and it's directed at someone because of their gender, hence GBV. So although digital gender-based violence happens behind a screen, the harm is very real. The harm can be emotional, psychological, and sometimes it can lead to physical harm as well.
Wow. I mean, you mentioned technology there, and I'm looking at these two phones in front of me like, wait a minute. It doesn't even have to be as complex as something online and you're in a chat room. Am I showing my age by saying chat room? But sometimes you're in a group. Let's say you're playing a game in a group, because I'm a gamer girl as well. So I play games and we have our little chats and so on. Yes, our group is 18 and over, just because we try our best not to, have any younger persons there so any predators can step in and so. But it is so easy. It is really, really easy now that you outline exactly what digital GBV is. So yeah, we really need to keep our eyes open. I mean, what are some ways or some examples of what digital abuse might look like in real life?
So digital abuse, some examples are cyberbullying, online stalking.
Oh boy, we know that one.
Sexting that turns coercive. Sharing private photos without consent. In many cases, young people are pressured into sending intimate photos to another person, and those images are later used by the receiver of those to blackmail or shame them, and this is known as sextortion. There's also something called online grooming, another form of digital abuse, where someone builds trust online with a minor or a vulnerable person in order to exploit them. Now, Taquila, you might be hearing these terms, sexting, grooming, online grooming, and you might think to yourself, well, this can't be happening in our small island. But the statistics speak very differently. In 2024, there were 6,570 reports of online child sexual abuse material in Trinidad and Tobago alone. And this data illustrates that digital gender-based violence is a real issue in our country, especially affecting young people.
My goodness. And I mean, now that I think about the amount of gaming that I do and the little ones at home do, I could see
Yes.
where it can come in. So what are some online behaviors that people might not realize actually count as digital violence as well?
Well, sometimes it's not obvious. Things like repeatedly messaging someone after they've said no, or sharing screenshots of private chats, or posting or forwarding intimate photos, or spreading rumors online. All of that counts. Even harmless jokes or degrading memes can be a form of gender-based harassment. Once it violates someone's privacy or dignity, it's not okay, whether it happens face-to-face or behind a screen. And, you mentioned gaming. A lot of young people today play online games, whether it's through a phone, your computer, or your gaming console. It's very easy for someone to create a fake profile online, and many adults pretend to be children on these platforms, and they use this avenue to groom children that are gaming. A popular game is Roblox. Roblox is used by perpetrators because it allows easy access to communicate with children. And this kind of communication and easy access can lead to a perpetrator actually meeting up with your child with ill intentions. So, we'd want to urge parents and guardians to closely monitor their children and to guide them when it comes to online gaming.
Wow, that is a big one, because I mean, Roblox is what they tend to gravitate to, and if you pay some attention to social media and so on, you'd see that game in particular popping up a lot, with a lot of mention of that very same thing. So yeah, it's really important to be aware. So why is this kind of abuse becoming so common, especially among the younger people?
Well, it's simple, really. It's because so much of our lives are now online. For young people, the internet isn't just a place that they visit. It's where they socialize. It's where they build relationships. And this means that they are more vulnerable to someone misusing that trust. The thing about digital abuse is that once something is shared online, it can spread so quickly and it can feel impossible to escape. This is why digital education, empathy, and boundaries are important. We need to teach young people early on about online consent and respect.
Very, very true. Especially that respect part, because the consent might come in, because you're teaching them as young'uns, what it is when you say no, and if somebody tries to overstep that. But the respect, you need to make sure that others are showing you respect while you all are playing games. You're not just buddy and throwing naughty jokes back and forth like that. So if someone is being harassed or blackmailed online, where can they find some help? Where can they get assistance?
Yeah, so victims, especially young people, should not stay silent or try to handle it by themselves. Sometimes a situation can become so overwhelming that a victim may want to self-harm or even worse, contemplate suicide. Victims must know that they are not alone and help is available. Now, there are three main helplines that they can reach out to. The first is the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago at 996 or through their website. Then there is the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS, the Cyber and Social Media Unit. Reports can be made at any police station or online at ttps.gov.tt. And lastly, for emotional support, there's the suicide hotline at 800-COPE. And help is available here 24 hours a day. Even parents or teachers who suspect grooming or sextortion can seek guidance. The most important thing is to save any evidence, like screenshots or messages, and then proceed to report it safely.
Okay, that is a big move there, because the delete button is one that people like to hit, especially when they realize, oh my gosh, I think I've been caught.
That's right.
Yeah, so take your screenshots and make sure you have your receipts, as we call them. And you mentioned as well that the club is helping to raise awareness about digital gender-based violence. So I'm expecting that you all are going to assist the survivors and so on in different ways as well.
Yes, so our club posts daily messages about gender-based violence on social media during the 16 days of activism. In terms of our event, at the Walkathon, we will be having placards with messaging on digital gender-based violence. Our Orange Café program will encourage awareness, open discussion, and it's going to explore issues like cyberbullying, grooming, and sextortion, especially among young people. Last but not least, our club has curated a QR code which contains resources for victims and survivors of gender-based violence, including hotline numbers, police support services, and cyber safety material. This QR code can be found on the event tickets, as well as the banners that we will be displaying during the walk and at the Orange Café.
Okay, all right. And I guess on your social media as well.
Correct, yes, on social media as well.
Now, I hear this this name Orange Café being tossed about. I want to talk some more about that. But the flyer says that the profits go towards survivor support. So how is the club helping in terms of, using those profits to help survivors?
Right, so we'd like to support survivors in two main ways. The first is for counseling with a psychologist to help them cope emotionally, right, to help them with their emotional healing. And secondly, we would like to provide an opportunity for these women to learn a skill so that they can become self-sufficient and independent.
Nice.
This will in turn, give them some confidence and boost their self-esteem, in this process that they're going through.
And then when we get to the Walkathon, when we get there on the 29th of November, I know a lot of people are eager to hear what exactly they're going to meet. What's in store for us?
Right. So we gather at Presentation College San Fernando at 7 a.m. And the event will be officially opened, and we start our walk by 7:45. There'll be a music truck playing
music.
Yes. Playing uplifting music, and participants will carry placards and banners which speak out against gender-based violence. We will be accompanied by the police and the fire services with an ambulance because we want our event to be safe.
Right.
Our route goes along Coffee Street, past the Library Corner, along Harris Promenade. We'll have a water stop in front of City Hall, then continue down Chancery Lane onto High Street, and then return to Presentation College for breakfast and the Orange Cafe program.
There it is again. There it is. Okay, so I need to know. I need to know about this Orange Cafe thing. What is it? Is it, like varieties, different types of oranges from across Trinidad and Tobago? What is this Orange Cafe breakfast about?
So it's called an Orange Cafe because orange is the signature color of the campaign Unite by 2030 to end violence against women.
Nice. Okay.
And a fun fact, during the 16 days, our Prime Minister's office has been lit orange at night.
Oh,
And
very nice.
Yes, and internationally, other landmarks are lit in orange. For example, the pyramids and the Sphinx in Egypt were lit in orange in 2020.
Okay, very nice. So we're stepping out in orange.
So our Orange Cafe will be held at the college auditorium after the walkathon.
Okay.
Following a delicious breakfast, our program will feature guest speakers, including a GBV survivor and student presentations as well. So, in light of the signature color being orange, we're asking participants to wear something orange of their own.
Nice, nice.
Or they can purchase one of our orange event polos. So these polos are $100 and the deadline to place an order is November 13th. Breakfast tickets are $150 and the deadline to order the breakfast is November the 20th. These tickets can be obtained from members and more information is available on our Facebook and Instagram pages, SI Esperance.
Awesome. So we're just about to start wrapping up as we make our way towards news time. So we're quickly going to touch on ways in which we are going to get the men and boys involved because, of course, it wouldn't be GBV if there weren't different types of genders involved here. So men and boys, how are we going to encourage them to participate and support in this event?
So, Soroptimist International Esperance strongly believes that we must raise awareness in men and boys about their roles in society. We encourage men and boys to take a firm stance against GBV by speaking out against violence, promoting respect, and modeling positive, non-violent behavior. At the end of the day, Tequila, addressing GBV is everyone's responsibility.
Very true.
And real change can only happen when men stand together with women. We have invited male leaders in our community to our event. Male secondary school students are participating in the walk and in the Orange Cafe program. And in fact, we are hoping for a great turnout of men and boys.
Yes, I'm hoping so too. I expect to see many of them in photos because, they are like our main protectors when it comes to that. I know my nephew, for example, he's quite a champion in protecting his sisters. So, yes.
Very nice.
And lastly, as we wrap, what is the main message? What last message would you like to leave with our listeners today?
Yes, well, the reality is that gender-based violence can happen to anyone, anywhere. So let's check up on our friends, family, neighbors, and loved ones. We all share the responsibility to make our physical and digital spaces safer by showing kindness and respect, reporting abuse, and supporting victims and survivors. Together we can protect one another and end all forms of gender-based violence, whether it's face-to-face or digital.
Very lovely. Yes. I totally am for that, standing together like that. So, of course, we want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming out to Heartbeat Radio.
Well, thank you, Tequila. On behalf of Soroptimist International Esperance, we'd like to thank you and Heartbeat Radio for Women for having us. And we truly appreciate this opportunity to speak about our club and our upcoming event.
You're most welcome. And of course, thank you to the entire Soroptimist International for, creating a room and a platform, an area for us to be able to have this discussion and be able to have the event as well. So more people will be aware and on board. So thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, Farah, so much for coming in and sharing some time and some information with us. And of course, listeners, if you want to get more info, you can check out their Facebook and Instagram pages. Don't forget that's SI Esperance. Just look for them on Facebook and Instagram. All of the information will be there. And make sure you get those sneakers ready. I've been telling you to do so. So they should be nice and clean and dry and ready to be laced up.